We are talking about Spearman's rank order correlation here, that was developed by Charles Spearman in 1904. So it is a non-parametric test, that is a two-tailed test that is used to measure the strength of association between two variables. Spearman's rank order correlation is denoted by RS. So when R is equal to plus 1, that means a perfect positive correlation. When it's minus 1, that means a perfect negative correlation. So if the value is towards plus positive 1 or negative 1, that means the relation is a perfect positive or a perfect negative correlation. If the value is towards 0 on the timeline, that means the correlation is getting weaker. So Spearman's rank order correlation is also known as a non-parametric version of Pearson's product moment correlation. It measures the strength and direction of the association between two ranked variables, as we just talked about. Spearman determines the strength and direction of the monotonic relationship between two variables. That is, if variable 1 value is going up, the variable 2 value can go down. Variable 1 value is going up, then variable 2 value can also go down. Whereas Pearson determines the strength and direction of the linear relationship between two variables. So it's the linear relationship in the Spearman's. In Spearman, variables should be ordinal, interval, or ratio. So Spearman's rank order correlation is calculated through two methods. One is for the untied ranks, where none of the variables are carrying the same ranking. So all the variables are carrying the different ranking. So here we'll use the untied ranking. The formula for that is very easy: 1 minus 6 multiplied by the sum of the difference between the pairs of ranks. So we'll first rank the variables, and then we'll find the difference between the ranks, and then to calculate the sum of that, divided by n into n square minus 1. So this is a very simple formula for untied ranking. The other method is for the tied ranking. So we'll solve a problem here for the tied ranking. So because tied ranking is a little complicated if we compare it with the untied ranking. So once we solve the tied ranking, we'll get to know how to solve the untied ranking also. So the tied ranking is where two variables carry the same rank. So variable A and variable B can carry the same ranking, because variable A can be 40, variable B can also be 40. So we need to, so I am going to explain the tied ranking in the coming solution. Before that, the features of Spearman correlation coefficient, that is the sum of difference of ranks between two variables, shall be 0. So the first feature of Spearman's rank order correlation is that the sum of the difference of ranks between two variables, that is sum D, that is in the untied ranking we just saw on the left side of the screen, that should be 0. Non-parametric is equal to distribution free. So it's a non-distribution method. It's nothing but the Pearson correlation coefficient between ranks. So it's the same method as Pearson, but it's been calculated through ranks. So that's why it's a non-parametric method. So let's quickly go through the untied rank and tied ranking formulas here. In untied ranking, we calculate the correlation with this formula, that is 1 minus sum of the difference between the ranking divided by n into n square minus 1. So n will be the total number of variables. The formula for the tied ranking is a little detailed. So RS is equal to sum of the two variables minus sum of the variable A multiplied by sum of the variable B divided by n, and then this whole thing is divided by the square root of sum of the square of variable x minus sum of the variable x whole square divided by n, and this is multiplied by the same method for the other variable, that is variable y. So you can quickly see the formula before we get into a solution for a problem of tied ranking. So I have taken a very easy and simple example where we are trying to find the correlation between uh, 7 students about their marks in history and marks in English. So you can quickly go through the calculation here, and after you go through it, we are going to solve it one by one, column by column. So let's quickly write down the data that's available of the 7 students, marks in history and marks in English. So let's try to understand the data that is given here. Here we saw that there are two variables where we are having the same marks. So here we will use the tied ranking method for these two variables. So let's first understand how to do the ranking. So what I have done here is written all the values in ascending order, and when you see 45 is the first ranking, 48 after that there are 248, so 2 and 3. So 48 will be 2, second 48 will be 3. So 2 plus 3 divided by 2, because these are 2 digits, that will be 2.5 each. And moving ahead, 50 is 4, 58 is 5, 59 is 6, and again 60 are 2. So it will be 7 plus 8 divided by 2 again, that will be 7.5 each. So you have to be a little careful about the ranking part, and after that, since all the numbers are individual numbers, so we will do the ranking as a untied ranking here. 62 is 9, 63 is 10, and so on. Now the next step is to make a table for all the data here. So X here is the marks in history, Y is the marks in English, and we'll write all the numbers in ascending order for the columns independently and place the ranking that we calculated in the previous screen in front of each of the marks. So ranking for X will be Rx, ranking for Y will be Ry. So I have underlined the common data here, that is 48 and 60. So these two numbers will have the tied ranking, and we are placing all the ranking here. So you can maybe pause the video and do it on your own so that you can practice it well. So after we are done with the first 4 columns, 5th and 6th column is nothing but only the square of ranking of x and ranking of y. So the fifth column is rx square and the next column is rxy. So we'll quickly do the square of each of the values here and place it in the table. So you can see we have calculated all the values. The last column is Rx multiplied by Ry, that is ranking X multiplied by ranking Y. So we have placed all the values here. Now we need to find the sum of the columns starting from column 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. Sum of Rx, then sum of Ry, that will be sum of x, sum of y, then sum of rx square, similarly sum of ry square, and the last column, that is rx multiplied by ry. So these are the data that we'll need in the formula. So after we calculate these data, we only need to place it in the formula and then calculate it to get the Spearman rank order correlation. So we are quickly doing the sum of it. So here again I'll advise you to pause the video and do the calculation on your own. So after we are done with all these 5 values, we'll move to next step, that is first let's write all the values that we've got. So we are writing all the values here, the sum of x, that is 43.5, similarly the sum of y, that is 61.5, then sum of x square, and then again sum of y square. So that is what we calculated in the previous screen. So I have tried to sum all the values here so that we can quickly place it on the in the formula. So here these are all the values that we calculated. So now let's come to the formula of Spearman rank order correlation that we talked about in the first slide. So this is the formula that you need to remember. This is very easy if you follow the logic that sum of xy, you are subtracting sum of x multiplied by sum of y, that is divided by n, and similarly we are doing with the square of it. So our next step is to simply place all the values that we calculated in from the tabular format and do the calculation easily, patiently with the help of a calculator, and then we will get our value of Rs. So you can pause the video here again. So not to mention here that n is 7. So the values is a, b, c, d, e, f, g, that is 7 variables here. So that is why n is 7. So you can pause the video and do the calculation here as per the formula. And later on in the last slide we are going to do the interpretation part. So quickly do the calculation. You can match the calculation from here, and then let's move on to the interpretation of what the value we get of Rs. We found that the value is 0.99, that is almost similar, equal to a positive value of 1. That shows that if RS is 0.99, so our interpretation here goes that it's almost approximately equal to positive value of 1. So that shows that there is a very strong positive correlation between these two variables. Now let's talk about the null hypothesis part. So for that we will draw the NPC curve, and then we'll try to understand if the hypothesis is accepted or rejected. Before that, let's find the critical value of RS from the table, and for that we'll find the degree of freedom here. So here we are trying to find the degree of freedom n minus 2. So for the correlation we have to subtract 2 from the total number of variables. So degree of freedom here is 5. So as per the degree of freedom 5, at both the values of 0.05 and 0.01, at we've got these values. Now we'll place these values in the NPC bell curve, and then we'll try to find out if the null hypothesis is accepted or rejected. So you can see here that this is the value of 0.01, where we got 0.78 to 0.75, and very close to that will be the value of 0.05. Okay, so the area on the left of these two values will be, and before that let's place the value that we've got, 0.99. This is the value that is approximately positive value of 1. So the area on the left of this side will be the area of acceptance, AOA. So any value that falls towards the left of this will be accepted, and towards the right of it is the area of rejection. So we saw that the value that we have calculated is towards the right side, that is in the area of rejection. That means that null hypothesis is rejected because the value is falling in the area of rejection from, if we compare with the critical value. So this is the NPC curve for the interpretation. So we can consider that the null hypothesis, we had assumed that there is no relation between the two variables. So we can assume that the null hypothesis was that it can be anything. So in this problem we can assume that. Thank you so much.